So, do you want to know the secret to becoming unstoppable?
Hmm.
Think about those people, the ones who just seem to handle whatever life throws at them with this amazing resilience.
Yeah, you see them and you wonder, how do they do that?
Exactly. Well, we've been digging into some really interesting stuff, and it seems like the core idea, maybe the secret, is about deliberately doing hard things regularly.
Yeah, intentionally embracing difficulty.
Right. Because, in our world today, everything's geared towards comfort, isn't it? Fast food, easy routines, instant everything.
Absolutely. Convenience is king.
But what if that constant chase for ease is actually, well, holding us back? What if it's stopping us from reaching our real potential?
That's a massive point we found in the sources. These challenges, they aren't actually roadblocks. They're more like the tools for building strength.
Tools? How so?
Well, think about how a sword is made, right? It's not just left alone.
No, it gets hammered, heated.
Exactly. Beak into shape, plunged into fire, cool down fast. It's that struggle, that resistance, that gives it its sharpness, its strength.
Ah, okay. So the struggle itself is what forges the strength. The hardship builds hunger, maybe. Pain sharpens purpose.
Precisely. That friction isn't the enemy. It cultivates that drive, that hunger you mentioned. And getting through tough stuff really clarifies what matters.
So the real obstacle isn't the difficult situation itself. It's our own tendency to always look for the easy way out, comfort.
Comfort is the real siren song, maybe. That's why we wanted to dive into this. It's not about, like, self-punishment.
No, not at all.
It's about understanding that by choosing to face things that push us, we actually gain power. We build this foundation.
Okay, I'm with you. Let's make it practical then. How do we actually build this resilience? The material we looked at talks about something called mental calluses. What's that about?
It's a great analogy, actually. Think about your hands.
Yeah.
If you start lifting weights or doing hard manual labor, what happens at first?
Blisters, probably. Pain.
Right. But if you keep doing it day after day.
Your skin gets tougher. You build up calluses.
Exactly. Those calluses protect you. The idea is that something similar happens in your brain when you consistently do mentally hard things.
So pushing through mental discomfort literally toughens up our minds, like building calluses on our hands.
That's the core idea. And it's often connected with David Goggins, the former Navy SEAL ultramarathon guy.
Yeah, I've heard of him. His story is intense.
Totally. And the key thing is, he wasn't like born this super tough dude. He built it. He relentlessly pushed himself way past his comfort zone, physically and mentally, through incredible pain.
Okay, so he's proof it can be developed. What about the flip side? What happens if we always avoid the hard stuff, always choose comfort?
Well, the research and stories we looked at are pretty clear. If you only do what's easy, your mind, well, it gets a bit soft. It gets really good at negotiating, making excuses.
Talking yourself out of things, yeah.
And then, when real pressure hits, something unavoidable, the mind just isn't prepared. It folds more easily.
So we're basically training our minds to be weaker by protecting them too much. Okay, give me some real-world examples. What are these everyday things that suck that actually help build these mental calluses?
Oh, there are tons. Simple things, really, like dragging yourself out of a warm bed when the alarm goes off early, especially when it's cold.
Ugh, yeah. I know that feeling.
Or deliberately stepping into a cold shower.
Yeah.
Just choosing that initial shock.
Okay, that's a classic one.
Or deciding to go for that run even when it's raining outside. Or finding the guts to speak up in a meeting when you feel intimidated.
Even staying late to finish a project properly instead of cutting corners.
Absolutely. It's those small daily decisions, choosing the slightly harder option over immediate comfort.
And this isn't something that happens overnight, right? The material stresses, it's gradual.
Exactly. Day by day, layer by layer. That's how it's often described. Each time you push through, you add another thin layer to that mental toughness.
Okay, so what's the big payoff then? Why bother with all this deliberate discomfort? What's the benefit of having these mental calluses?
The payoff is huge, really. When life throws those inevitable curveballs, job loss, illness, relationship issues, whatever it is.
Which it always does, eventually.
Right? You're just less likely to break.
Yeah.
You've trained your mind to handle discomfort. So instead of collapsing, you bounce back faster. You're more resilient.
So it's about moving beyond just relying on motivation, which comes and goes.
Exactly. Motivations is fickle. This is about building discipline, deep-seated discipline.
And not needing everything to be perfect before you act. Having grit.
Yes. Grit, that combination of passion and perseverance, that's what these calluses give you. It's the edge, It's how you win, not just the big battles, but the small daily ones too.
Okay, that leads nicely into the next idea from our sources. Daily discomfort rituals. Tell me more about that. It sounds like taking mental calluses and making them a habit.
That's a good way to put it. It's about being intentional, looking at your daily routines, your habits, and asking, are these making me stronger, or are they just, well, babying me, keeping me stuck in the comfort zone?
Precisely. If you want to grow, you have to intentionally do things that stretch you.
And again, this isn't about suddenly climbing Mount Everest tomorrow, is it?
No, it's about finding ways to get uncomfortable today, and then tomorrow, and the day after. Small things, consistently.
Building a ritual around discomfort. Okay, so what are some examples of these rituals and what's the thinking behind them?
Okay, one example given is setting your alarm for, say, 5 a.m. for 30 days straight.
Ooh.
Yeah. But the main point isn't just getting more done. It's proving to yourself you can beat that urge to stay in bed. It's about taking control right from the start. That really impacts your whole mindset.
Okay, I can see that. What else?
The cold shower again, taking one every single morning. The benefit isn't just waking up fast. It's about consciously choosing discomfort first thing, building that resilience muscle immediately. It's like a statement to yourself, I choose hard.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Another one mentioned was talking to one stranger every day, especially if that makes you anxious.
Oh, that's a good one for social confidence, pushing that specific boundary.
Right. Rewiring that fear bit by bit. Or going for a run, specifically when your brain is screaming, rest, take a break. That's when it counts most, right? Pushing through that mental block.
Yeah, overriding that inner negotiator.
Then there's fasting, maybe like a 16-hour fast. The idea there is reclaiming discipline over your impulses, especially around food.
Interesting. Bodily discipline translating to mental discipline.
And one more, dedicating time, maybe even just 30 minutes before your day job, to work on your dream project, your passion.
Showing up for yourself first, even when it's tough.
Yeah, even when you're tired or busy. It shows commitment to your own goals.
These all seem manageable on their own, but doing them consistently, that's where the power is. The material really stresses that, doesn't it? No need for massive life changes up front.
Not at all. Just show up for that one hard thing every day.
And the payoff.
The payoff is becoming unstoppable, or at least significantly more resilient and capable.
Yeah.
Especially in a world that's kind of addicted to comfort. Doing one uncomfortable thing daily sets you apart.
This all makes sense conceptually, but seeing it in action, that's powerful. The sources we looked at share some amazing stories. Let's talk about David Goggins again.
Yeah, his story is just wow. The material describes him starting from a really low point, almost 300 pounds, working a tough, low-paying job, feeling completely stuck.
Just feeling like life had dealt him a bad hand.
Pretty much. And then he sees this commercial for the Navy SEALs and something just clicks, or maybe snaps.
And that spark leads him down this path of insane transformation. The training he put himself through, the sources detail it vividly. Running alone, injured, through ridicule. It sounds brutal.
Unbelievably brutal. And here's the key thing the material highlights. It wasn't smooth sailing. He failed. He faced huge setbacks.
But he didn't quit.
Never. His whole thing became about embracing the difficulty. That phrase, hard is the point, he lived it. He ran towards the bane, not away from it.
And look at him now. Ultramarathons, best-selling author, inspiring millions. And the sources are clear. It wasn't raw talent. It was his choice to get comfortable being uncomfortable.
100%. He literally forged himself through hardship. Okay, another powerful example the material uses is military personnel. Soldiers, Marines, SEALs, Rangers. What ties them together?
The training, right. It's notoriously difficult, constant pushing of limits, physically and mentally.
Exactly. And why do they do that? It's not just about being physically fit to fight.
No, it's conditioning the mind too, isn't it?
Precisely. The material explains it's about conditioning them so when they're in actual danger, when bullets are flying, their default isn't panic. It's trained response. Action.
So it goes beyond just adrenaline. It's like muscle memory for the mind built through intense, repeated stress.
Well put. They learn to run toward the hard things, to embrace what they call the suck. And the really important point our sources make here is
that this mindset isn't exclusive to them.
Exactly. It's accessible to anyone. You don't need a uniform to learn how to embrace discomfort and build that mental fortitude.
That's incredibly empowering. We can all cultivate that. Okay, the final example. Peak performers. Athletes on podiums, CEOs in corner offices, artists on stage. They look so successful from the outside.
Yeah, we see the polished result. But the material peels back the layers. It talks about the stuff you don't see.
Like what?
like the 4 a.m. alarms,
Yeah.
thousands of reps nobody witnesses, the rejections, the constant self-doubt they fight through, the lonely hours grinding away.
So it wasn't just talent that got them there. It was a choice.
A conscious choice, again and again, to take the harder path. The uphill road, as the material calls it, the route with resistance.
Because, going back to the sword analogy,
Resistance builds strength. These stories aren't just motivational fluff. They're living proof that this principle works. Intentionally doing hard things is a core ingredient for achieving something significant.
okay, so we get the why, we get the what, we've seen the examples. How do we, the listeners, actually put this into practice? The material ends with a very direct call to action, doesn't it? Starting with that question.
What's your Everest?
Right. What's
Yeah.
that big, uncomfortable, maybe scary thing that you listening right now have been avoiding?
Yeah, that thing that makes your stomach clench a little just thinking about it. The sources give examples like maybe starting that business idea you've had forever,
Or finally fixing that broken relationship, or getting serious about losing weight.
writing that book,
Mm.
learning to say no more often, whatever your hard thing is.
And the instruction is simple. Pick one, just one, and start. When?
Today, not tomorrow, not when things calm down. Today.
Make it real. Write it down. Say it out loud.
Yep, make that commitment tangible. And then the most important part.
Just stop.
Just start. And the material adds this great encouragement. Start messy. Start scared. Start tired. Start without feeling motivated. Just start.
Because doing hard things, it doesn't just build character.
It reveals it. It shows you the strength you already had inside. You're not meant to just be average. You can be anti-fragile.
Anti-fragile, meaning you get stronger from challenges.
Exactly. Like stressing a muscle makes it grow. You don't just endure hardship. You grow because of it.
And you don't have to wait for life to test you. You can start testing yourself today.
Right. Which leads to that 30-day challenge proposed in the sources.
Tell us about that again.
Simple but powerful. Pit your one hard thing, commit to doing it or taking a step towards it every single day for 30 days.
No excuses.
No excuses. Just action. And when it gets tough, because it will,
Remember the mantra.
hard is not the enemy. Hard is the way. See the difficulty not as something blocking you, but as the actual path forward.
That shift in perspective is everything. And the final nudge.
You got this. Simple, direct to belief.
So, wrapping up this deep dive then, what are the absolute core takeaways?
Okay, I think number one, struggle isn't failure. It's the blacksmith's forge for strength.
Right. Number two, daily intentional discomfort builds that rock-solid resilience, little by
You
little.
know. And number three, your greatest potential, the truly awesome stuff you're capable of, it lives just outside your current comfort zone. You got to step out to find it.
This whole exploration, it feels less like just advice and more like holding up a mirror, like the sources suggest, showing you, the listener, the potential you might not even realize you have.
Exactly. It's an invitation to stop running from discomfort and start actively seeking it, to hunt it,
So the fundamental message, boiled down, do hard things daily.
and watch your life transform. It really can.
Until next time, stay hard, stay hungry.
And remember, you were built for more.